Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Angie at Chicken Scratch, and this is the third video for the Raw Edges Square Quilt Along. Okay, so now we're ready to sew our blocks together, or sew row 1. We're going vertically. My last video, we were sewing around our charm square. So the next thing we want to do is just make sure that all of our blocks are going in the same direction. We're talking about the grain of fabric. So when I pop it like that, it's nice and solid. Over here, it's kind of a dull and it's really stretchy. So this is the top, and I want to make sure that every one of my blocks do the exact same thing. And what this does is it helps you to make sure that your seams line up better, because the other side stretches. So if it stretches, then that means it's not going to line up as nice, because it's going to stretch when you start sewing it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is pause the video and we will head over to the sewing machine. Okay, so now we're at the sewing machine. I've got my stack of row 1. So I'm going to set my squares over here to the side. I've got block 1 and block 2. So I'm just going to flip over block 2, place these right sides together, and then I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam. So I'm just going to place this here on my sewing machine. I am going to back stitch for this point, or for this spot, I should say. Along the way, I just want to make sure that I've kept the square straight, both of them together. Okay, so now that 1 is connected to 2, I'm going to pick up the 3rd block. And at this point, I'm going to also make sure that I've not moved it and then my grain of fabric is still going in the right direction. And if you guys have any questions about that, just be sure to post it on our Chicken Scratch Quilt Along Facebook page. Okay, I can see I'm not straight down here, so now it is. Okay, so I'm going to finish sewing row 1 together, and then what we're going to do is press our seams. So I'm going to pause the video, get this wrapped up, and then we'll press our seams. Okay? Okay, I have sewn my entire row 1 together, and now we're ready to press our seams. Now, in the past, I have always pressed my seams either to the left or to the right or to the dark side. I am actually going to try something new with this quilt. I don't know how I'm going to like it, but you know, you never know until you try something. So I've had people swear by it, and then other people hate it. And I have really Googled the subject a lot, and there is a lot of mixed emotions about it. So anyway, I'm going to press my seams open. And if it doesn't work out, it'll be okay. We can fix it. I say with paper crafting and with sewing, you can fix anything. Okay, so I've pressed that seam open. Now I'm going to slide down. I think when I was reading, when I Googled the subject, some people said they did not like it because it wasn't as strong of a seam. And yeah, I don't really want my seams to open up, but I also don't want it to be bulky in the middle. And since I'm about to start doing my own quilting, I got a mid-arm machine. I'm going to need all the help I can get with not having bulky fabrics. So in the next quilt along, you may see me go back to pressing the seams to the left or to the right. Okay, so I don't think I need you, or I need to show you all of this, because this is just row 1. And then next I'm going to go get row 2. And then once we get this done, we're almost done. All we have to do is sew our rows together. So we'll connect row 1 to row 2. And then what I'll do is I'll connect row 3 to row 4, and then 5 to row 6. And then I will take those pairs and sew them together. So I'm going to pause the camera, and I'll be back with connecting row 1 to row 2. Okay? Okay, so I'm back. I just got done pressing all of my seams. And now what we're going to do is take row 2 and we're going to turn it. Let me open up row 1. Okay, so that's row 1. Here's row 2. So I'm just going to flip this over and place them right sides together, just like that. And I'm going to pin them. So we never know when beginner sewers or quilters join us. So I'm going to try to remember to not skip any steps. So I've shown this in every quilt along. I'm going to show it in this one as well. I do like to start pinning in the middle, and I want to line up my seams. So I've got my pins here. I do tend to overpin, and I say that in every video as well, because I would rather be safe than sorry. Maybe in 10 years or 5 years I may stop pinning. So now that I've got that first one there, I'm going to slide down to the next seam and pin it. And let's see. I don't want to stick my head in the camera, but I also want to make sure, and I can tell that one's not straight. Okay, I also, when I get to the sewing machine, I try to make sure that they're still lining up. My sister doesn't pin when she sews, and man, I can't believe that her seams turn out okay. Okay, so this is nice. My right side here lined up perfectly. I might even go in here and even put a pin in the middle there, because like I said, I'm an overpinner. So now we're going to just fold this together. Let me get this middle one. And then now we're going to work to the left. So, okay, so now I'm going to pin this one. Okay. Then this last one here, this is technically our first one since we started in the middle and worked our way down. And then now here's our first one, and I do actually pin it as well. Okay, so I will see you at the sewing machine. Okay, so I have got row 1 and row 2 pinned together, and now we are ready to start sewing. So I'm just going to take this first pin out and make sure that I still have my fabric lined up. I am going to back stitch, even though people swear I don't have to. Okay, so just going to sew a 1/4 inch seam all the way to the end. When I get to a seam, I am going to make sure that it's still lined up. I'm going to put my needle down because I don't want my fabric to shift at all as I'm checking the seam. And that one looks pretty good. So I am going to remove the pin now, and I'm going to go slow so that my seam continues to lie flat. Okay, I'm going to go over one more seam, and then I'm going to stop the camera. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and I will see you in the next video. If you have any questions, don't forget to post them on our Chicken Scratch Quilt Along Facebook group. Thanks a lot. Bye.